Breaking news right now. The prosecution resting its case in Donald Trump's criminal hush money trial after 4 days of testimony from the former president's one-time fixer, Michael Cohen. The defense now calling their second witness to the stand, Bob Costello. Let's bring in our senior reporter, Catherine Falders, along with Jerry Goldfeder, senior counsel at Cozen O'Connor. Okay, so let's talk about Robert Costello here, the lawyer who really became Cohen's channel to Trump. Why is he on the stand?
Yeah, Kara, he's on the stand as the second witness that the defense is calling here. They called a paralegal to enter some phone records into the record that had to do with Bob Costello. But now they're calling Costello because you heard a lot about him during Michael Cohen's testimony. He testified, Michael Cohen did, that Costello offered to represent him in April of 2018 after the FBI raided his hotel and office. He's also important, Kira, because according to Cohen, Costello boasted about his relationship with Trump's former longtime lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, offering to create a quote-unquote back channel, if you will, of communications to Trump during that federal investigation. Jurors throughout this trial have seen multiple emails between Cohen and Costello where he referenced this back channel to Donald Trump. So let's see what the defense will try and do with Costello as a witness here. It seems like it was a bit of a last-minute decision to call him, but surely they will be asking Costello about Cohen's testimony where he detailed Bob Costello's communications with Trump. So that's what we should expect to hear. Bob Costello just got on the stand, so we'll see how that plays out.
And apparently Costello and Cohen had a falling out, partly because of unpaid legal bills. So it should be interesting to see what comes out here. And Jerry, the prosecution had some major cleaning up to do regarding Cohen's image and credibility. What do you think? Did the state succeed?
Well, the jury has heard from Cohen on direct, on cross-examination, on redirect. He's a liar. The jurors know that he's a liar. And now the defense, after the prosecution is arrested, the defense is trying to prove even more that he's a liar. Okay, well, fine. If you're a juror, you accept that fact. The only critical issue is whether or not he's telling the truth about the central part of the story that the prosecution put on. The charges, the catch and kill scheme, the repayment, the reimbursement to Cohen, the fact that Trump was involved in this. I don't think the defense has touched that yet, and I'm not sure that they will with this witness Costello. And it's actually a little ironic because Costello entered the picture in order to try to get Cohen to not flip, to keep him on the reservation, if you will, to make sure that after the FBI raided his home, that he didn't do or say anything that would negatively impact Trump. So I'm not sure that calling Costello is going to help the defense. We'll see what he actually testifies to. But I think the jury gets a pretty good picture of who Cohen is. They get a pretty good picture of what this scheme was all about. They have a pretty good understanding, I think, that this was all about election interference by Trump. And now we're going to learn, probably on cross-examination, that Costello tried to keep Cohen from spilling the beans. So we'll see how this plays out.
Not just spilling the beans, but if you look back at the congressional testimony where Costello, Catherine, testified after that FBI raid that you just mentioned, and we all remember when that went down, Costello said that Cohen was actually contemplating suicide in April of 2018. How do you think that this may play into, I don't know, empathy toward Michael Cohen if indeed this comes up yet again?
Kira,
I think that's a good point.
Go ahead. You both. Yeah. No. Go ahead. You go ahead from a legal perspective. Go ahead and weigh in, and I'll get. Yeah.
I think you're right. It's a very good point. It gives the jury a better sense of Cohen with all of his warts. He was a person who was loyal to Trump. He felt betrayed by Trump. It was like a father-son relationship, and essentially, he turned on him eventually for a variety of reasons, to protect himself, to protect his family, to finally tell the truth. But he was also hurt. because of the relationship that that was so important to him went south. So if that comes up, if the issue of the attempted suicide or the feelings of the suicidal feelings come up, I think that's going to add a flavor to Cohen as a sympathetic, potentially sympathetic figure by the jury.
Catherine?
Unclear, and I'm just looking at the notes from our team inside the courtroom. It's unclear if any of the testimony that you even mentioned previously will even come up, because now there's a debate going on about whether to even allow Costello to be called. The prosecutors are objecting to this. One of the prosecutors is asking the judge to omit Costello or limit his testimony to only 2 questions. It's going back and forth right now, but Susan Hoffager, a prosecutor, says, I think there's very limited testimony that's permissible here at all. What the defense wants to do, Kira, is use Costello to rebut Cohen's testimony about a pressure campaign. Now, prosecutors either want to completely preclude his testimony, or significantly limit it. And now what's happening now is one of Trump's defense attorneys, Emil Bove, says, I am not going to elicit Mr. Costello's opinion of Mr. Cohen's credibility. I am seeking to elicit many facts about their engagements between April 2018 and the summer of 2018. So we'll have to see whether he's allowed to take the stand at all.
All right, one more question, Jerry. Do you think the state has met its burden of proof to get a jury to convict Trump?
I think they have. I think that despite Cohen's relationship with the truth, I think when it comes to the core features of the charges against Trump, I think the prosecution has met its burden. It's hard to second guess what a jury is going to, how they're going to conclude. And we'll only know afterwards, when the jury is interviewed, why they made the decision they ultimately will make.
Jerry, Catherine, thank you.